Okay, Mr. Mahoney, Miss Bethany, you're back.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
And unmuted.
And unmuted on top of that.
Yeah, I got it right.
Okay. What is your client's intention, Mr. Mahoney?
She wishes to proceed with the formal hearing.
Okay, very good. As soon as Ms. Dawson's back, we'll be ready to roll.
Sounds good.
Mr. and Mrs. Scott say that they're going to have to pick up their children pretty soon. One of them has to go out. What time do the kids get out of school? Okay, Mr. Scott, I can't.
3:45.
What's that, 3:45?
So in 3 minutes, he's gonna walk out the door. I'm already here, so I can.
Oh, you're already, okay,
Yeah. So I'll just have to jump out, or I don't know.
Okay, okay.
One of us will jump out, grab him, and we'll be right
Okay.
back.
okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Miss Bethany. Good afternoon, Officer Barger.
Good afternoon.
Officer Barger, which matter are you here on?
City of Kentwood versus Aaron Terrell Kassan.
Okay, very good. We have one other matter pending before that, so. See, I need an envelope, a big envelope. Good afternoon, Officer Robinson.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay. Did I hear that you retired?
I did not know.
Oh, okay, I heard wrong. Somebody retired, so,
Dave Helm.
okay. That's Dave, I knew it was a Dave.
Yep. Dave Helm last week, I believe it was.
Okay. Okay, it looks like Mrs. Scott's putting her mask on to go pick up her child from school. Okay,
Is Mr. Mahoney back with us, Your Honor?
he certainly is.
Yes.
Okay. Is everybody for the Cheyenne Bethany case with us?
Well, Officer Barger is here on,
The other one, that's the
He's on
Aaron
the other
case on matter.
yes, the case on, and so.
Yeah.
But Mrs. Scott stepped out for just a minute. She'll be back. Mr. Scott is here, and Officer Robertson, which matter are you here on?
The Aaron case on.
Okay. And
So,
Officer
Your
Keith.
Honor, if I may, I'd like to discuss with you the Bethany matter. I've had an opportunity to speak to opposing counsel, and I understand his position. At this time, the eyewitness to the actual offense that the defendant was charged with has not appeared, and that person would be Mr. Colson. I believe that he probably isn't appearing because he has a warrant for his ticket arising out of this instance.
Well, he can appear by Zoom, and the long arm of the law can't grab him by Zoom.
Well, and he did receive Zoom information on the subpoena. So at this time, I don't have an eyewitness. I have Officer Keaton, who will testify to what she was told. So I guess it's kind of up to your honor how we should proceed today.
Well, given that we've got so many people that did appear, let us proceed. And I take it Mr. and Mrs. Scott will state what they saw and observed, and Ms. Bethany will testify as to what she saw and observed, and then Officer Keaton will testify as to what she observed. I take it she was called to the accident, and then you and Mr. Mahoney will make arguments as to why I should believe your side,
Okay.
either your side or Mr. Mahoney's side. So.
Well, I'm ready to proceed as soon as you're ready, Your Honor. I know we've got kind of a busy docket this afternoon.
Okay, I'm ready to proceed. Mr. Mahoney, you ready to proceed?
I'm ready to proceed.
Terrific. You may, Ms. Dawson, you may call your first witness.
The city calls Officer Keaton.
Officer Keaton, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to just give the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay.
Officer Keaton, will you please state and spell your full name for the record?
It's Cindy Keaton, CINDYKEATON.
And where are you employed?
The Kentwood Police Department.
How long have you been employed there?
22 years.
And what are your duties and responsibilities?
Currently, I'm assigned to the patrol unit. I answer calls for service.
Okay. Did you respond to a traffic crash on November 11th, 2020 at approximately 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:20?
I actually was at the police department and they came to us.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yep. Myself and Officer Aaron McAlpine were actually in the front parking lot of the police department, and it was a weekend, so there was nobody else there, just us and another vehicle who was here on a separate complaint, and we were dealing with that when all of a sudden Miss Bethany pulled into the parking lot, and she came running up to my car telling me she was just in a crash. And so then I was trying to get out and figure out what was going on. And then a little while later, Mr. and Mrs. Scott showed up, and they had stated that they had gotten the license plate of the other vehicle because Ms. Bethany said that the other vehicle had taken off.
Okay, and do you know what the circumstances surrounding the original crash were?
Well, since I didn't witness it, I had Ms. Bethany as my only person that was obviously involved in that part. And she stated that she
If
was
you could,
traveling.
stop for just a second. I'm a bit confused. So were there two crashes?
It was kind of a crash between Ms. Bethany and Mr. Coulson that then Mr. Coulson, which is why he got the tickets that he did, allegedly was ramming the back of Ms. Bethany as she was continuing down Breton, which at one point when he rammed into the back of her near the turnaround at the roundabout, Ms. Bethany then hit the back of Mr. Scott and Mrs. Scott's vehicle. So that's how they then were involved. But it's kind of one continuous action because it was all stemming from the original crash, if that makes sense.
Okay, so this is a sandwich situation.
Um,
Coulson was Miss
sort
Beth,
of.
huh?
Sort of. I mean, there was an original crash between Ms. Bethany and Mr. Coulson. And then Mr. Coulson apparently had some anger with what had happened and then started banging into the back of Ms. Bethany's vehicle as she was driving south still on Breton after that.
Okay.
And
So
at some point,
Miss Bethany was the first car?
Ms. Bethany ended up in front of him, yes. So Mr. Coulson was in the back. So the original crash was that Ms. Bethany was driving south on Breton near North Breton Court in the right lane, and Mr. Coulson was in the left lane. And that is where the lanes merge into one.
Yep.
And the left lane is the lane that continues, and the right lane is the lane that has to merge. So Ms. Bethany was merging over into the right lane, and when she did so, that's when she had contact with Mr. Coulson. So then they can.
Miss Bethany was in the left lane?
No, Ms. Bethany was in the right
Miss
lane.
Bethany, okay, I want to make sure I get this straight. So Miss Bethany's in the right lane,
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
she's merging over, and Coulson hit her in the back?
Yes, she kind of like cut into his front.
Okay,
end, 'cause he,
Okay,
okay, so he had the through and she was the one that had to merge over. So as she gets over, they crash. And then according to Ms. Bethany, he continues to bump into the back of her on and off as she continues down Breton, because now you're surrounded by the medians. And then once they get to the roundabout, that's when Mr. and Mrs. Scott were in front of Ms. Bethany. And so Mr. Colson bangs in the back of Ms. Bethany, then Ms. Bethany lunges forward and hits the back of Mr. and Mrs. Scott. They continue in the roundabout. Ms. Bethany turns off into the police department. Mr. Colson continues and Mr. and Mrs. Scott follow to grab the license plate.
Ah, okay, so that's why they showed up later. They got the license plate. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So that is how it was explained to me.
So Officer Keaton, did you issue the defendant a citation?
Yes.
And what was that for?
Let me just make sure. Improper lane use.
And can you briefly explain to the court why you issued a citation for improper lane use?
The reason for the ticket, unfortunately, obviously she was rear-ended and we had a reckless thing going on, and you know, that after the fact was an issue, but that matter has been taken care of. She got a ticket for the initial cause of the accident because she was in the right lane. He was in the left lane, which he had the right to that lane that continued on, and she was trying to merge over, and that's what caused the crash.
And so it was that incident as opposed to anything that happened later.
Exactly.
Okay.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Mahoney, do you have any questions to ask?
I would briefly. You had testified that you learned of the facts of how this came to be from an interview or discussion you had with Ms. Bethany. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is it your testimony today that Ms. Bethany had in fact stated to you that she had made a dangerous or improper or negligent change of lanes?
She did not use those words. She told me she was getting from the right lane into the lane that continues straight.
Okay, but she didn't make any statement to you as to the propriety of that lane change? Did she at first look and then saw that it was available and made it properly? She didn't make a statement to you either way as to that issue?
She told me she was getting into the left lane and then they had the crash.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Mr. Mahoney, you're from East Lansing, is that correct?
No, my office is in West Lansing.
Oh, West Lansing, okay. East Lansing, West, I knew it was Lansing. So I don't know if you're familiar with this road. It's right around the corner from the courthouse. And this is a picture that was taken, used to be a 4-lane road, and then it made it into it's a 4-lane road further down. And this is going northbound. But you can see where there used to be yellow lines there. And they made it into a boulevard. So this is still 1 lane, 1 lane, 1 lane. But coming back the other way, you can see it's on southbound lane, it's two lanes right over here. This was when the road was still under construction. It's all nice grass now, but so it's still 2 lanes here. And right about here is where it comes into one lane going southbound. I don't, not exactly sure where it becomes two become one, but it's along in this area. Okay. Do you have any questions to ask of Officer Keaton besides the one you had already asked?
No, I did not at this time, no.
Okay. Ms. Dawson, do you have any other witnesses that you wish to call?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Mahoney, did you have any witnesses that you wish to call?
Yes, I do. There are three here today, and I would begin with Ms. Bethany.
Ms. Bethany, please raise your right hand, please. Someone from just give the truth, whole truth, and but you step again.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Mahoney, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. I understand that on the 11th of November of 2020, in the afternoon around 1 o'clock, 1:20, you had cause to be driving down this portion of road that you had just seen the court had displayed for us. Do you recall doing that?
Yes.
Okay. And have you used that pathway before?
Numerous times.
So you were familiar with where the merging would have to occur?
I'm very familiar.
Okay, great. And when you had been merging into the left lane on that occasion, prior to doing that, had you looked in your rear view mirrors to determine if there was sufficient opportunity space given vehicles nearby and their relative speeds to yours?
Yes, sir.
Before you made the change of lane?
Yes, sir.
And did you believe that that it was reasonable for you and was safe for you to make that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you had, at the time that you had made the change into the left lane, well, you're southbound on this road, correct?
Yes.
And when that happened, would you describe what happened after that?
After we merged.
At the point that you attempted to change the lane, you had started changing lane. You testified that you believe that, given all of your observations, that was a reasonable thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you started, if I understand you correctly, to make that change of lane. And at that time, what happened immediately after that?
The truck, like, not just sideswipe, like he rammed the back of me, and like it made my car to swerve like dang near over the curb, the left side of the curb.
And do you recall when you made the change in lane, about, in your estimation, how far behind you had that pickup truck been?
He was already far, like behind, like it was some space between my car and his before he started to speed up and got mad and bam.
Okay. And there were more than one occasion that this pickup truck had done this to your vehicle.
Yes. He rammed the side, which I have damage, like you can tell
the relevance to what happened after. I mean, it seems as though Mr. Mahoney is asking questions that are pertaining to what happened after the lane change.
I'll allow it up to the point where they collided with the shorts.
Now, Ms. Bethany, during this time, had you opportunity to make a brief video recording of that vehicle behind you?
Yes.
And we have a copy of that video recording here that she can authenticate. Would there be any objection to putting it on the screen?
I'm going to object to the relevance again because it's after the fact.
Well, I think that one can view this video, and it's very brief, and it is not the sort of collision that one would expect in an I can't stop immediate, someone forcing themselves in front of another driver. but there is such deliberation and time delay in the time between the truck and the distance between that vehicle and hers.
Yeah,
That says something entirely different.
I'll lock.
So now the next question is I don't know how to do this for sure. But
Okay.
I'm going to try share screen.
Okay. Are you, where is the video on your screen, Mr. Mahoney, or Miss Bethany's?
It's on my screen.
Okay, so go down to the bottom of your, computer. It should say share screen. It's a green, box with a, arrow pointing up.
Okay. Okay,
Click on
well, I
that.
have it. Got it.
Okay.
Now let's see if this works.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
And now just hit that button there. Okay.
Now, Miss Bethany, do you recall making this video?
Yes,
And was it during this incident?
yes,
And is it an accurate representation of what happened at that time, to your recollection?
yes.
And when I'm gonna, if I may, just play this one more time. It's very short.
Yeah, very short. 5 seconds.
Okay, now when I play this, that playback, that what you're seeing now, that's the speed at which these events happened. I haven't altered this or made it faster or slower.
Okay.
Bethany? Hello?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Great. If it's okay, I'm going to close this out.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
You're now a pro at sharing screens.
Amazing. All righty. So this, if I recall, your testimony was that this happened on 3 occasions. Is that correct, or more?
he ran me 3 times.
And then what was going through your mind at the time?
I was scared as heck.
And did you call 911?
I did.
Your Honor, we happen to have the city has provided us with a brief audio clip of that call.
Okay.
And I think that just one can, in listening to it, can appreciate the fear in this woman's voice.
Objection to the relevance of this.
I-
This is
I-
after the fact again.
Yeah. I'll allow it because I think it goes to, you're right, Ms. Dawson, it is after the fact, but it's closely related to it. And I think it could shed some light on what happened, what her initial reaction was. So I'll allow it. Again, Mr. Mahoney, just go down to the bottom of your screen, share screen, and then whatever's on your screen we'll hear or see.
There's nothing to oh. And I'll just leave it at that. And if I may, I could stop the share.
Okay.
Let's see if someone would like to hear it again.
I didn't hear anything.
It didn't come through at all.
Oh, your volume is up, so. So, okay. I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, well, that's not going to work then, apparently.
Do you have any other questions to ask of Ms. Bethany?
Well, you made the call to 911 for what reason?
He was ramming me and I was scared like for my life.
Okay. And after that call, you had continued moving forward, correct?
Yes.
And after this incident came to an end, where did you go next?
I like tried to lose him and like turned into Kentwood City Hall. And I noticed he was still following me. So I turned around knowing, because I know this area, I live around here. I turned to look for police because I often see them around, and I seen parked police cars at the Kentwood Justice Center. So I drove up to them for help.
And ultimately that's where you met Officer Keaton, is that correct?
Yeah. I jumped out. I seen another officer out, and I just turned. I seen her in the car. I'm like, I need help. I need help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't have any further questions for this witness at this time.
Okay, Ms. Dawson, did you wish to, do you have any questions to ask of Ms. Bethany?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Mr. Mahoney, do you have any other questions? Any other witnesses?
Yes, that would be Mr. Scott.
Okay, Mr. Scott, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to give the truth, whole truth, and put you yourself again. Okay. Okay, I can't hear you.
I can't hear.
You're not muted, but I just can't. Is your microphone on?
Okay.
At least nobody's appearing with a filter, cat filter or anything like that, so that's good.
Well, I certainly could call Shantoya Scott.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh,
Oh, they're in the same car.
I didn't know that.
I was right next to her.
Oh, you're right now. Okay. You
That
raised
was
your
in my
hand.
other car. We both just met up here.
Okay, solemnly swear to just give the truth, whole truth, and but yourself again.
I do, yes.
Okay, very good. Mr. Mahoney?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Scott, if you could briefly, you were present at this time when these incidents took place, were you not?
Yes.
And were you the first driver in this series?
Yes, we was in the first car. My wife was driving. I was in the passenger seat.
Okay, and briefly, what tell the court, if you could, what happened?
So we were driving up Breton, and my wife first noticed that our car was speeding behind us, and she told me that two cars were speeding behind us or whatever. And I looked to the left, and the first thing I seen was the car on the left kind of hit the car on the right, and she fishtailed out of control. And when she fishtailed out of control, she got control of the car, and that's when we got to the roundabout. And I was trying to tell my wife to slow down because they were going to ram us because it was pretty close. And once we got to the roundabout, our car was coming, and we had to stop. So once we stopped, and that's when they rammed us. And then so once we went past the roundabout, we had to go left to let them pass us to get out of the way, because it was crazy what was going on. So once they went past us, I seen the first car speed up, and the car behind sped behind them. And then that's when we followed them. And then she made a left into the city hall and went to the police station. And then we noticed the other car just sped past and just kept going forward. I'm not sure what that street is. And that's when we took the picture.
And could you describe the vehicle that sped past?
It was the pickup truck, a gray pickup truck.
Okay. And the other vehicle, how would you describe the other vehicle?
I believe it was a white car. I'm not 100% sure. I believe it was a white car, like a small SUV maybe.
Okay. And then after that you had left, and that's when you and your wife went to see if you could determine the license plate of the pickup truck driver. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. We followed behind him just to get a picture of the license plate, and that's when we went back to the police station.
So from what you observed that day, it was the pickup truck that struck the white SUV, causing the white SUV to lose control or traction slightly. Is that correct?
Yes, because the white car was already in front, and then the car on the left kind of sped up, and then as soon as he sped up, he hit her pretty hard, and she like really fishtailed out of control. And so I thought she was going to crash. And so that's when we kind of sped up a little bit, and that's when they hit us at the stop sign.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Nothing further.
Okay. Ms. Dawson, do you have any questions to ask?
Yes, I do. Can the witness please state again where was your car positioned?
Where was our car position?
Yeah, like where were you? Were you did you say you were in the first car? Is that correct?
Yeah, we were in the front.
Okay, so do you often drive down the road watching behind you when you're driving?
I was in the passenger seat.
So when you're in the passenger seat, you were looking behind you while you're driving?
I wasn't driving. I was in the passenger seat looking behind, yes.
Why were you looking behind you if you were driving the other direction?
Well, my wife noticed a car was speeding up and the cars were pretty close. And so the car on the right was right behind us, and then the other car sped up, and that's when she got hit.
So
Is it possible that you saw the road rage incident after the fact?
Is it possible that I seen the road rage after the fact?
Yes, because we're talking about two separate incidents in this trial. We're talking about when the defendant merged over into the other lane, and then we're also talking like there was an action, there was incidents after that initial action, okay? And I'm asking you if you saw what happened after the defendant had merged.
After the defendant has merged, I didn't. Well, the only thing I noticed
But
was.
you don't know exactly.
That's
Is that
not
correct?
what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Mr. Scott.
So can you repeat your question for me?
The question basically is, when did you first notice Miss Bethany's vehicle behind you?
When we was on, she was right behind us. When we was on, I'm not sure the exact location, but we was on Breton Road.
Breton, was it? And did you see her after that merge between the two lanes?
Did I see her after the merge? She was behind us.
She was behind you. She was behind you.
Yeah.
There's two lanes that merge into one, correct?
Right.
Okay.
She was. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you see her after it merged or before it merged?
It was after she merged. She was already behind us.
That's the first time you saw her?
Is that the first time I saw her?
Right.
So
your wife said there's a couple of cars coming up behind us real fast. Is that right?
Correct.
And at that point, you apparently looked in a rearview mirror. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And when you looked in the rearview mirror, did you see?
I looked behind. I looked behind me. I didn't necessarily look in the rear. I looked directly.
Oh, okay. You look behind you. All right. And at that point, was it where the road had already merged, or was it before the merge?
Oh, it was already merged. It was already into one lane.
Okay. So at that point, Miss Bethany apparently had been hit the first time.
Well, I don't know if she was hit the first time. I just seen the fishtail.
Okay. You saw her fishtail, and that's the first thing you noticed, her fishtail.
That's the first. Yeah, that's the first hit I noticed. I didn't. If there was a hit before that, I didn't notice that.
Okay. Good enough. Fair enough. And
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. So you don't know how fast the pickup truck was coming before Miss Bethany fishtailed. Is that correct?
I didn't notice it. No.
Okay. Very good. Mr. Mahoney, do you have any other questions?
I don't have any further questions.
Okay. Did you wish to call Mrs. Scott?
Yes, if I could, please.
Okay. Mrs. Scott? Okay. Okay. If you'd raise your right hand, sign me swear just give the truth, whole truth, and put yourself again.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Mahoney, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. You listen to your husband testify here briefly. You were present on the 11th of November around 1:20 in the afternoon. You were in the car with your husband. You were, if I understand the testimony correctly, you were driving the vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And had you noticed, did anything captured your attention to give you cause to look behind you?
Yes.
And what was that? Ms.
It was a truck speeding pretty fast up behind me. So when you're driving.
Objection, Your Honor. If she is looking behind her, that is after the initial
I don't know.
action.
Yeah,
I'm saying that I looked in my rearview mirror and noticed a truck speeding up fast. This is what I saw from beginning to end. I don't know
Okay.
if that's
and we'll find out exactly when she saw it, but she noticed the truck speeding. Okay. So
And again, objection to the speeding, it's not relevant in this action.
it could be here. Mr. Mahoney, do you have any other questions?
Certainly, you had just testified that you had seen the truck behind you.
correct.
Where was the white car?
In the right lane.
In the right lane.
Correct.
And where was the pickup truck when you saw it speeding?
In the left lane.
In the left lane. And did you observe the pickup truck strike the white car?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have anything further for Ms. Scott. Thank you, Ms. Scott, for taking the time to appear today.
No problem.
Dawson, do you have any questions to ask?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mrs. Scott, when you first saw the vehicles, were they before where the cars merged or after where the cars merged?
I kind of watched the whole time. So when you guys asked before and after, it's like during the time of
The merge.
the speed up, the hit, the spin, the bump that also hit me. I'm
Okay.
watching the whole time.
Okay. And I'm trying to go back in time from, I'm sorry your car got involved in this whole mess. So, but when you first looked in the rear view mirror, one was in the left lane and one was in the right lane.
Yes.
And what happened? And then they apparently collided. What happened to the white car when they collided?
The white car ended up behind me. So I
Okay.
was the first car, and then the white car was behind me, and the gray truck was behind them.
Did you notice? Were you able to tell that they had collided?
Yes, I seen them collide.
How do you know they collided? What did you?
Because the car in the right lane was merging, and the car in the left lane, they were sped up and hit that car like on the side. It looked like from my point of view, and the car kind of fishtailed out.
Okay. So you saw it before the fishtail collision?
Yes, because I actually sped up because I saw him coming so fast. I thought he would possibly come hit me. So that's when I told my husband, I'm like, this car is going really fast. And they were at a distance when I said that. They were further back.
Okay. Ms. Dawson, any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other witnesses, Ms. Mahoney?
No further witnesses. No.
Any other witnesses, Ms. Dawson?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Dawson, do you have any closing arguments?
Yes, I'd just like to express to the court, it's been made clear in the testimony, not only from Ms. Keaton, but also the witnesses, that they saw the car merging into the side, okay? That means that the defendant did not move over within a safe distance and therefore improperly used the lane, which is what we're here for. So I would just like the court to take that into consideration when determining responsibility today.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Mr. Mahoney.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I would like the court to carefully consider the fact that each of these witnesses, when observing the ones who have testified to the actual collision occurring and what was seen prior to that, the pickup truck is speeding up. If there's not time to make, if she was merging over and the pickup truck was not going to be able to get through there, the idea is the brake pedal works for a reason. Don't speed up. And that's what the witnesses are seeing here. Mm-hmm. Instead of slowing down and allowing Ms. Bethany to go through, for whatever reason, this pickup truck needed to be there. And it made every effort of doing so for reasons unknown to me, but that's what the evidence makes very clear, abundantly clear to me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Dawson?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to find the defendant not responsible. I think that she did have the right of way. She was merging, driving at an appropriate speed, and the pickup truck forfeited his right of way because he was speeding. He caused the accident, and that's demonstrated by the fact that Mrs. Scott saw him driving at a very high rate of speed. I'm not sure she used the word very, she said high rate of speed. Then after that, he demonstrated his irresponsibility by continuing to strike Miss Bethany's vehicle a number of times, and then pushing her car into Mrs. Scott's car, and then driving away. And we wouldn't have known who it was had it not been for Mr. and Mrs. Scott thinking so quickly and getting the license plate number, and then taking the time to come back to the police department. And so I think that this accident was caused by the gentleman in the pickup truck, that Miss Bethany did have the right of way. She was merging and he cut her off. So not responsible.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mahoney, very nice meeting you.
You too.
And,
I think we've met one other time.
I believe so. So, okay,
Thank you.
we're all set. Miss Bethany, you're free to stick around and watch the other case we have. Same with Mr. and Mrs. Scott, or you're free to take off.
Thank you.
Sounds
Thank
like
you, Your Honor.
Sounds like Mrs. Scott has some other duties here to take care of in the back seat.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you did.
You probably see the fire truck. Have a good week.
Okay,
Take care. Be safe.
sometimes I use.
Do we have Erin Case on here, Your Honor?
Yeah, so sometimes oh, she's gone. I was going to show her my little demonstration toys here.
They could be helpful.
Well, in
Better
this,
than having the demonstration spine.
in this case, the car was merging over properly and got hit. So anyways,
Again, thank you, Your Honor.
okay, have a good day.
You too.
The next matter before the court is the people of the city of Kentwood versus Aaron Kaysen. This matter was scheduled for 3:50. It's now 4:25. I have not seen Mr. Kaysen. Default judgment may enter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. And Mr. Mulkern, People City Council versus Mr. James Mulkern. Mr. Mulkern is here. And
I don't actually have that file, so I'm flying blind on this one. Mr. Mulkern, I apologize, but can you tell me what you've been cited with?
It is a, sorry.
30 to 25.
30 and a 25?
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, I don't have witnesses. I guess the
Yeah.
city's not prepared to proceed with a non-jury trial on this matter, and I would request an adjournment.
Officer
don't-
Carey was the officer involved.
Is,
We sent, and Heather sent the notice titled People of the State of Michigan. But it is a, let's see, let's come back. Civil infraction. person charged with a violation of local ordinance. I wonder if the notice was sent to the state of Michigan.
I don't have, like, I don't even have him on
Right,
my list, so I don't, the city's not prepared to proceed with this today, Your Honor.
right. Zoom info mailed. Mr. Mulkern,
Yes, Your Honor.
did you get an email from the court about today's date?
No, I have 3 mailed documents.
Mail.
They mailed them directly,
Mail is working. That's good.
not email.
Yeah,
I
okay,
can't. My camera's not working. Sorry, it just stopped working for some reason.
okay. Well, this is good news that, because usually when we mail stuff out, there's somebody over at the post office that steals our stuff. Nobody ever gets our mail, so it's good to know that some of our mail gets through. You know, oh. This is strange because sometimes the notices go out people in the state of Michigan, and we don't show what address we're sending it to. But I can't. Just says the certificate of mailing. It doesn't say where it was mailed to, whether it was mailed to the prosecutor's office. What?
Well, usually we get a list from the, like, we go right from the docket, but I don't have anything from Mr. Mulkern. So I guess, can I be put into a breakout room so I can discuss this with him
Sure.
really quick?
It does show on our, it does show on the list, the schedule that was given to me.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't have it, and I don't know why this is the first time I'm,
Yeah, it's the last thing. I'll put you in a breakout room. The two of you can talk. It is about speeding 30 under 25. Officer Carey wrote him for this ticket on December 17th. And
Mr. Mulkern, I assume that you are contesting the ticket because you don't believe you were speeding?
Yes.
this is Bailey's Grove at Stonebriar, so it's in the subdivision there. Officer Carey wrote down 41 and 25, so.
All right, well, Your Honor, I'm not sure that a breakout room is really gonna do us much good because I don't have a file. So can we just reset this one out? Mr. Mulkern, I apologize, but I'm not prepared to proceed today. I don't have anything regarding your case.
Now, we had a pretrial conference scheduled for February 17th at 11 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Mulkern, did you appear at that time?
No, I was mailed 3 documents, 1 for the pretrial and 2 for the main trial.
Okay.
And so I was confused about which one was the
Right.
pretrial.
Okay. We
So
had a
that explains the situation then.
traffic pretrial scheduled on February 17th at 11 o'clock in the morning. Zoom instructions attached, meeting ID 371-717-8973, passcode city attorney. So,
So if he didn't appear, then I requested a default.
okay. I'll reschedule this for a formal hearing so that everybody can get proper notice. Did you want to talk right now? We can just call this another pretrial?
I don't really have anything. I don't have a reference. I mean, he's already said he's gonna contest the ticket. So,
Okay.
yeah.
City attorney did not, was unaware of formal hearing reschedule.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes,
So I called the county clerk to make this clear. I called the county clerk yesterday and asked and explained the situation that I misread the number of or the notices that I was sent, and she said that the meeting was still today. So that's why I was
right, but
okay. Sorry. I know it's my fault that I've misread these notices.
Right.
I'm sorry.
so what happened was, if you would, when you didn't call in for the city, for
Yes.
the pretrial conference on February 17th, they said, well, we're not, Mr. Mulkern's not coming for the pretrial conference, so he's probably not going to come for the formal hearing. And rather than subpoena police officer in and then just have the police officer twiddle his thumbs or her thumbs, in case Alex cares to be his thumbs, we're just not going to have him come in. And if Mr. Mulkern does come in, then we can have a pretrial conference. Ms. Dawson, I read to you that Officer Carey clocked him 41 and a 25 in a residential zone. And so I take it he wrote him for 30 and a 25 as opposed to a 3-point, or 41 or 25 could have been a 4-point ticket. He wrote him for a 2-point ticket. So in any event, if the two of you can't resolve the matter today, we're going to schedule for another formal hearing.
I have no offer. I mean, if everything is what you said, the officer already cut him a pretty significant deal. Sounds like Mr. Mulkern disagrees, so.
Okay, so we're going to send another notice to you, and it'll be this Zoom room for the formal hearing, Mr. Mulkern. You should get that notice next week.
All right. Thank you.
Still living at 3495 North Meadow Grove,
Yes, Your Honor.
and phone number is 616-446-0857.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what's your email address?
JG Mulkern. Sorry.
Mulkern
Mulkern, like the last name, at yahoo.com.
at Yahoo. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks.
Okay. Mr. Mulkern, you had a chance to listen in on the other formal hearing, and so that'll be sort of what happens in your hearing. First, the court hears the prosecution witnesses, and then you have a chance to cross-examine them. Then you'll have a chance to testify. You'll have a chance to call your witnesses, and then the judge makes the decision. And it'll be Judge Sturkenberg, our new judge.
Okay.
Okay, take care, Mr. Mulkern.
Thank you.
Okay. And Danielle, on that last one, you're right, the principal issue was when the accident occurred. But I'd let the other testimony in just to say, yeah, this pickup truck driver was.
Well, there's no doubt he was wrong, but I
Was
still
out of
think
control.
she was wrong too.
Yeah.
So, but
So-
okay.
And it was
thank you.
also important you're right, Mr. Short, or was it Short?
Colson.
No, the Scott.
Oh.
He first noticed it after the accident, but she noticed it before that pickup truck was cutting her off. So,
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
good, take care, catch you later.
too.
It's always a pleasure.
Bye.
I'll see you next Wednesday for sure, even if it's for please or whatever, so.
Sounds good.
Good.
Thanks.
Would it help you if I sent you my jury instruction template?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay,
I will look for that.
okay.
Have a good night.
Take care, bye-bye.